morning everyone. I'm back. I've taken a couple of weeks off from vlogging because there was not a lot going on. I was working on orders for clients. I've got a big wedding dress order I'm working on at the minute, and I was finishing up at my job, so I left my part-time job last Thursday. Said goodbye to everyone, which is really sad because I really enjoyed being there. But I'm really excited to be back working on Rockstars and Royalty full time now. So I'm back creating full time. My head is spinning. I've got so much to do. There's so many videos I want to make. My website needs a massive update, and I started doing some work on that yesterday. My list is so long, I kind of don't know where to start. So I've got a client coming this morning for a wedding dress fitting. Then I need to work on her dress this week, but I'm also going to finally, I know I keep talking about it, but I'm finally going to finish the Liberty dress as well, which I'm really excited about, and get the end of that video filmed. And then once the wedding dress order's finished, it's not just her dress, I'm making some other things as well for her. So yeah, there's quite a lot to do, but once that's all finished, then I'm going to start on the floral dress that I've got all the fabrics put by for and film that. So yeah, it's exciting times, really exciting. Like I said in my other video, I needed that break where I was working to really reignite my passion for what I do, and it's worked. It's absolutely worked. I'm just itching to get sewing. So welcome to all the new people who've joined me recently, and I can't wait to share some new sewing videos with you very soon. My client's been, and I'm finally back to working on the Liberty dress. So I've got the corset. This is as far as I got with it. I've got the corset here on the mannequin, and the next thing I'm going to do is add the tulle and the lace and the winged heart to the corset. This tulle is an offcut from something else that I made ages ago, and it's got a slight stretch to it. So I'm going to use it with the stretch going over the shoulders to create these straps. And I want it to kind of meet at the front because I want the winged heart to sit high. I'm using tulle just because this is really sparkly, but I just want to just tone down the rainbow sparkles in this corset a little bit. So you're still going to get the sparkle coming through, but the tulle's just going to subdue it a tiny bit. I'm just going to use another piece of tulle just to fit in that side in a moment. See, we can still see the sparkle coming through, but it's just been toned down by the tulle there. And I'm just doing exactly the same on the opposite side. This one's going to be quite symmetrical. I finally cut out the winged heart that I made all those months ago, and I'm going to pin that on next, and then I'm going to pin on the white sequin lace offcuts where I want them. Got that on. It's just sitting just up over the edge of the top of the corset there, because I just wanted to just hide the edge a tiny bit. I think it's just going to help it again, just soften everything. Yeah, I love that. And I'm actually going to keep it as a separate corset and skirt. Originally I was going to make it as a dress. I think it'd be nice to have this corset separate so I can always put it with different skirts and petticoats in the future. So next up, I'm going to be using the offcuts of the white sequin lace from the couture gown that I made last year. I think the white, again, is just going to help tone down the rainbowiness of the iridescent sequins, which I like, and I do want it coming through a bit, but I want to keep it mainly red and white and silver. So I'm going to use these to put on as well. If they work, I think they'll work. That bit's too big. I think I need to cut them out. I'm going to cut out some smaller bits. That bit's too big. No, I think I want to keep just small parts. So I'm going to cut out bits like that, which can then come up over the shoulders. Or does it even need it? I'm kind of undecided now. I'm thinking it doesn't need it now. I was so sure I was going to use this. I'm going to have feathers on the shoulders as well. Just put the feathers on and see how it all looks. So I'm going to do kind of big feathery shoulder piece. No, I'm not feeling it. I'm not going to use these. I'm just going to leave it tulle. Then the skirt's going to sit over the waist. And then once I've got the roses and the crown in the hair and red makeup and a white wig. No, it's too much. That's not something I say very often. So take note. And leave it like that and sew it all into place. So I'm going to use a clear thread. I'm going to sew it into place. I'm going to turn the edges under and just catch them to the inside. I'm going to stitch the heart, the winged heart on with clear thread as well. And then I've left the back of the corset open so I can turn it in neatly and get a nice finish on the back. And then I can put my eyelets in the corset, which I've got silver. Yeah, I think I'll use silver. I've got a few white ones left, but there's not many left and I can't get any more at the minute, so I'll use silver ones in this. And then I need to make a panel to go underneath the lacing as well. So that's my next job, and then I'll worry about the feathers afterwards. I've taken the corset off the mannequin. I've just repinned the winged heart patch just to make sure it was on really evenly. And now I'm just repinning all the gathers around the top and around the bottom just to make sure they're really neat and even. Then at the back I've tucked the edge of the tulle into the opening down the centre back, which is how I turn the corset in the right way. In hindsight, I should have joined the top of the corset, put the tulle on and then join the bottom so it was neatly done in the seam, but I didn't think about that when I was doing it. I didn't plan ahead as much as I normally do because I kept changing my mind about what I was doing with this. So at the bottom, all I'm going to do is trim that off, turn it to the inside and just stitch it. And then the bits under the arm, I'm going to trim and turn just to the outside. So I've got my little satin insert there that comes up to stop the sequins rubbing under your arm. So I'm going to trim it off and just turn it really neatly in between where the sequins end and where this bit of satin comes up. And I'm going to sew everything on with a clear thread so it's as invisible as possible, and it's going to take me a little while, so I better get started. Oh, I've just had the wig delivered that's going to go with the floral dress that I'm going to make in a couple of weeks. So it looked like it was a really nice rose gold colour online. I got it from Amazon. I'll put the link in the description so you can go and find it for yourself. The colour's perfect. It's a beautiful pastel rose gold colour. Oh, it looks absolutely wonderful. Let me move it over to the daylight so you can see the colour better. Oh, it's so pretty. So pretty. Oh, that's even nicer than I hoped it would be. I am back working on the Liberty dress again. I got that end all finished on Monday evening. Yesterday I had a meeting in the city and I had errands to run and I didn't get any more done. I had a million other things to do. I got some editing done though, which was good in the evening. So today I'm just going to finish getting all this tulle on. I'm nearly there. I've got to repin this end of the shoulder strap on this side because it just wasn't sat right, so I need to pop that back on the mannequin and just fix that up. I've evened out all the pleats just here, so I'm about to sew those on, and then I'm going to sew the other half of the heart on. To finish this part here where I've put the extra piece of tulle to go between the sleeves, because I've got this piece of satin which comes out of the top seam, I want to finish the tulle in front of that. So all I'm doing is I've stitched just along here. I've left my pins in just to keep everything really still. I'm just going to fold it under as I go along. I'm going to use my needle to help sort of tuck it in as well. And then I'm just going to stitch it down to the very edge of the sequin layer. Stitching through sequins is hard work. You need strong fingers. I'm going to go so from back to front, and it's going to hold it down just right in that seam. And hold the edges of the cut tulle underneath. Again, if I'd planned this better and not kept changing my mind, I would have joined this in when I joined the outside of the corset and the inside of the corset together. I would have done this piece at the same time. But yeah, I kept changing my mind on what I was doing with this dress, which was silly. Normally I plan better than that. So as it's a little bit of an afterthought, this is the best way to get that neat finish on it. I just got back from having my hair done and it's time to say goodbye to the red. So I've decided I want to go pink again. but we are trying to get it back to pink, but without using bleach. So my hairdresser, Janice at Gorilla Hair, is absolutely amazing. So she's lightened the roots using a lightener that's not bleach. And then she put purple shampoo on the end to lift the colour out of there. And it came out this weird sort of sunset colour. It was kind of peachy at the roots and purple at the ends, but all pastel-y. And then we put this really purpley pink over it to tone it for now. And then I'm going to go back in 4 weeks and we're going to do it all again and hopefully achieve eventually a nice pastel smoky pink colour, but without the need to bleach my hair and send it back to the wrecked state that it was in before. So really happy with this. It's less peach than I thought we'd get it in the first try. And I've got a pink shampoo to use in between this and the next appointment. We'll see how it comes out, but I love it. Absolutely love it for now. So time for a change, time for something new, and yeah, super happy with how it's looking at the minute. Everything is completely sewn on. So the heart's sewn on. I've stitched the gathers on the shoulders. Look at that sparkle. I love that you can still see that iridescent sparkle coming through. And if I spin it round, you can see how the back of the corset sits with the lacing and the panel sat underneath. It's not on completely straight. They are even once that's straightened up. Yes, I put it with this little petticoat. So now it's time to work on the overskirt and the bustle. Now, originally when I drew it, I was thinking, because I've got a few petticoats here, I was thinking I was going to make the petticoats into a bit of a bustle at the back. But I've actually found two old tulle, really long tulle overskirts. So I think I'm going to use these instead and keep the petticoats because I'll use them as petticoats at some point. So it seems a bit silly to cut them up. So I'm going to make one of these skirts into the overskirt and shorten it. And then one of them I'm going to turn into the bustle. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to pop my phone on a tripod and show you sort of roughly how that's going to look and how I'm going to do it. So I'm thinking if I do this, so we've got a big puff of tulle going on. I think I'm just going to cut that short at the front and long at the back. This one is an overskirt that's kind of open. So that sits round like that. There's a big overskirt. Oh, it's huge. That looks awesome. This one's really soft as well. The tulle's not exactly the same white, but I'm not that fussed because the idea of this one is to use up things that I already had. So I think once that's cut shorter, I think I'll put this one onto the nicer waistband. I need to put the corset on and measure my waist in it. Yeah, and I just need to trim that, which is going to look awesome. And this is, oh, it's really soft. It's gorgeous. Look how it looks. You can see in the mirror just how big and puffy it is at the waist. It looks so cool. So I'm going to put a nicer waistband on the overskirt because that one's a bit grubby where it's been used so many times. Trim the front of the full skirt. So I've been trying to figure out how to film the wig. I've never filmed doing hair and makeup before. This is a whole new thing. So originally I was just going to use a trestle table, but because of the angle on the end of this, my little clamp wouldn't stay on it. So I've clamped it to one of my small tables, which I've stood on top of the trestle table. And it's actually the perfect height for me. Oh, there you go, probably see me in the mirror. It's actually the perfect height for me to stand at to style the wig. So when I film styling the wig, I will stand up. And then when I'm doing my makeup, I'm going to sit at this table in front of my backdrop and do my makeup in front of that. So, and hopefully it all work out. So, like I say, I've never filmed me doing my hair and makeup before. I'm a little bit nervous about sharing that and moving into that territory because I'm not a makeup artist. I'm just someone who really loves makeup. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll give it a go, see how it comes out. So right now, back to filming the skirt part. The next job is to cut the front of this tulle overskirt to the same length as the petticoat. and then I'm just going to curve it. So I'm going to cut it straight at the front and then just curve it down in the sides and keep the length at the back. And I'm just going to do this by eye because it's tulle. You can line it up, but then it moves and looks uneven again. So I'm literally going to just cut a straight line with my scissors. I think there's 2 layers. So I'm going to lift up the top layer and do the underneath, and drop the top layer and do that one. So next I have made the waistband for the overskirt and bustle. So it's going to do up at the back. So I have marked my centre front. I've cut it to 1/2 inch each end longer than my waist measurement, which is 30 inches. So it's a 31-inch strip. I've marked the centre front. Then this line is the side. So that's halfway between the front and the back. And then I want the gathers to start just behind that. So my gathers are literally just going to be here and here, the same at the other end, and this whole front part will just be open, but it will sit neatly and hide the waist of the other skirt when I put it over the top. So the first thing I'm doing is removing the old waistband from this tulle overskirt that's going to become the bustle, because it's just looking a bit tatty. It's not the size and shape that I want for this new dress, so I'm just going to take it off completely. Thankfully, I did stitch the gathering on this skirt before I put the waistband on, so I'm not going to have to completely regather it, which makes me very happy. Okay, the waistband is off. So now I'm going to cut a line down the back, because this one did up at the front before, but I want it to do up at the back. So I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm just going to cut a gap in the tulle so that we can put it on and off and do it up at the centre back. So I'm going to cut that, and then I'm going to put it onto the waistband and gather it up even more to make it into that big puffy bustle that I want. Can't even see this because of all the tulle. I'm literally just going to cut an opening, and because it's tulle it won't fray. And once you've got all those layers together, you won't even see it either. So that's the first side gathered up as much as I can, just using a needle. And then I'll stitch that to the waistband, and then flip the waistband over and stitch it down, and then do the same in this middle part, which will, oops, it's caught a pin, which will have, so that's the bit that's going to sit across the centre front of the corset when it's on. And then this bustle part, you see that? That bustle part will be at the back. So I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side, then sew it all together and sew a hook and eye on. So I'm going to have to leave that there for tonight. I was hoping to get everything done, but it's just not going to happen. I've got to work on an order tomorrow. So hopefully Tuesday I can get on with this again and get it all finished and hopefully filmed as well. It's taken forever, this dress. It's taking absolutely ages. But yeah, I've got a whole bunch of orders I'm working on as well, and I do need to get on with one of those tomorrow. So I'm going to say goodbye. That's the end of this week's vlog. So this is the end of part 1 of finishing the Liberty dress. So part 2, so next week's vlog will have part 2 of getting it all finished, plus the hair and the makeup, so styling the wig. And I've got another wig to style for a photo shoot next week as well. So next week's going to be, yeah, a lot of hair and makeup stuff, and yeah, getting this dress finally finished and filmed and up. And I will catch you next week. See ya.